How about the most underrated player on tour?
This is one I think we probably disagreed on, actually.
All right.
I
What?
went with Davidovich Fokina.
Ooh.
I just feel like the fact that the dude has that inability to win titles, it means his year was kind of overlooked massively. Just because like he reached a career high number 14, he won 44 matches and had matches over big opponents. He beat FAA, he beat Draper, Rublev, Rude, and he beat Fritz and Shelton twice each. So like he was competitive against the top level of players, and he was consistently solid in every tournament. And I just think the fact that he didn't necessarily collect any big titles or push it over the top kind of makes people overlook him as how well his year actually went.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. That was a good one. So my guy completely flies under the radar. I went with Luca Darderi. And
Okay.
he's someone that you don't really think about a lot, but he is a top 30 player. He's number 26. He's Italian, so I feel like he gets overlooked a lot by Musetti, Sinner, Caboli. He's a young guy. He won three titles this year.
Yeah.
UMAG, Bastad, Marrakesh, all outdoor clay. I think they're in like the same month too, but still. Three titles on the year, top 30 player, and the guy is rarely ever spoken about.
100%. Yeah. I mean, you said that name and I was like, oh my God, I haven't thought about that guy at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like you said, it's the fact that there's so many Italians now in the top like 25, 30. And when you're thinking about an Italian, you may even think of Sonego before you think of Darderi. You may think of
Hmm.
Berrettini before you think of Darderi. It's like there's all these big Italian names, and Darderi kind of just slips there in the mix. I also put honorable mention for this one, Tien, just because I feel like you said, he's an up and coming guy, and maybe he's gained some hype recently, but I think generally he's a little bit underrated.
Yeah, I like that one too. I didn't have an honorable mention, but I think Tien would be a good one there.
And then we go to the opposite end of this sort of spectrum with the most overrated player. So who'd you go for on this one?
Karen Kachanov. So I went with him.
Ooh,
He's ranked number 18, but this year he was 1-6 against top 10 players. There is no I guess stat for what he was against top 20 players because I would have liked to see that, him being a top 20 player. But I mean, his best result this year was the Canada Open final, but Canada Open's kind of notorious for being a weaker Masters 1000, and I just kind of get the sense that he has this high ranking because he's relatively consistent at beating lower ranked guys, but he can't seem to get it done against guys at his level or even better. So I feel like it's a pretty good ranking for pretty lackluster results, honestly.
yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. I think that the consistency is something I value a little bit more because, and I think you'll see that in who I picked, but I understand why you picked Tachinov just because, yeah, you definitely see him like with a number 18 ranking in a tournament and then he loses in like the second round and you're like, I'm not surprised at all.
Yes, I do value consistency because if I didn't, every single instinct of mine was wanting to pick Deminar for most overrated player, but I couldn't do it because he is consistent. If you listened last week, you probably must think I hate Deminar. I don't hate the guy. I just think sometimes he's not a top eight player, but we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly I feel like it would have been on brand if you'd picked
I
Deminar
know,
for the
I know.
most
I wanted
overrated.
to, but I wanted to give him some respect.
Yeah. I
All
mean,
right.
and then so mine, I hate to say it, but I think it's Mensick right now.
Ooh.
Yes, he had a great result in Miami. I don't want to take that away from him. It was incredible. And it wasn't like he played badly. He had a great tournament overall. But outside of that, he played more like a guy in the lower end of like the top 50. Like even if you took away that points or even gave him like 50 points for a round win or something like that, which is maybe what he would be expected to get normally, he'd be like number 45 in the rankings. And so I think he should probably be below Tien and Fonseca in terms of like where you're viewing the next gen guys. But he's actually currently ranked like in the top 20. And I just think that ranking doesn't reflect kind of where he actually is.
That's a really good one. I think just because he has that Masters 1000, like there's that bias in people's head. He has all the tools. He's a big guy. He's got a big serve, and I feel like people just kind of they tend to remember the result, but not so much what he's been doing since.
Exactly. Yeah, like it's they're like, oh yeah, he won the Masters 1000 in Miami, but if you go on look at the rest of his results for this year, it's like maybe he won a round or two at other tournaments. He didn't make a single really big run that was of note later on in the year.
Yeah, and he does. I feel like he gets kind of the reputation of being the leader of the next gen pack too, because he was
Yeah,
the first
because he
one to
won
get.
that
Yeah.
tournament.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, and that's the show. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at Painting Lines Podcast. Feel free to shoot us a DM or email us any questions or thoughts at paintinglinespodcast@gmail.com.